Cheer. When the kings who lived west of the Jordan River heard about Joshua's big victories, they became very afraid. All the kings from the mountains, the coasts, and the valleys made a plan to join together and fight against Israel. But one city, Gibeon, decided not to fight. 2. They thought of another idea to make peace by pretending to be from far away. D. They dressed like travelers who had come from a very long journey. They gathered old, worn-out sacks for their donkeys and took cracked and mended wineskins. Their sandals were patched, their clothes were tattered, and the bread they packed was dry and crumbly. With their clever disguise ready, they set off for Joshua's camp at Gilgal. When they arrived, they approached Joshua, who stood tall and ready near the tent of meeting. His armor gleamed in the sunlight, and behind him, the elders of Israel watched with curiosity. Joshua's voice was kind but firm as he asked, "Who are you, and where did you come from?" The Gibeonite leader bowed low, his voice humble and shaky. "We are your servants," he began, "from a very far-away country, VO. We have heard about the great things your God has done, all that he did in Egypt, and how he helped you defeat the kings across the land. The fame of your God has reached even our distant home." He then held out the evidence of their supposed long journey, the crumbly old bread and the torn wineskins. "Look," he said, "this bread was warm when we packed it, and now it's hard. These wineskins were new, but now they are cracked from the long road." The Israelites looked at the food and the worn-out gear and believed their story. It all seemed so convincing. But in their haste, they forgot to do one very important thing. They forgot to ask the Lord for help. The elders of Israel tasted the dry bread, nodded to each other, and were satisfied. 2. And so, Joshua made peace with them. He made a treaty, a solemn promise to protect them and let them live. The leaders of Israel swore an oath, and a ram's horn sounded across the camp, sealing the agreement. But 3 days later, the Israelites found out the truth. Scouts raced back through the hills, their faces filled with shock. D. They had discovered that the Gibeonites were not from a faraway land at all. In fact, they lived right nearby. Their cities Gibeon, Beeroth, Kephriah, and Kiriath Jearim were just a short journey away. The people of Israel were upset. They grumbled and complained to their leaders, wanting to punish the Gibeonites for their trick. But the leaders stood firm. "We made a promise before the Lord God of Israel," they declared. "We cannot touch them now. We must keep our word." Joshua, seeing the situation, called for the Gibeonites. He stepped forward, his expression calm but serious under the glowing torchlight. The Gibeonites knelt before him, their hearts pounding. "Why did you deceive us?" Joshua asked. "Boro, why did you tell us you were from far away when you live right among us?" The Gibeonite leader looked up, his eyes filled with a mix of fear and honesty. "We were afraid," he admitted gently. "We heard what your God commanded, that you would destroy all the inhabitants of this land. We did this because we were terrified for our lives. We only wanted to live. Now, we are in your hands. Do to us whatever you think is good and right." Joshua listened. He knew a promise made before God was sacred. He let the Gibeonites live, but he gave them a new job. His voice was steady as he spoke. "Because of your deception, you are now under a curse, but you will live. You will serve as woodcutters and water carriers for the house of my God." There. And so, from that day on, the Gibeonites began their work. They chopped wood for the altar fire and carried water for the tabernacle, the holy place of God. And Joshua kept his promise, protecting them as he had sworn. This story reminds us that even when we make mistakes, even when things don't go as planned, God can still show mercy and turn a difficult situation into something good. The Gibeonites, through their desperate plea for life, found a place serving at the very center of Israel's worship, becoming a living testament to the power of a promise and the grace of God. Thanks so much for watching with us today. If you enjoyed this story, please give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more adventures from history. We'll see you next time.